Imagine building one of the world's biggest music companies without owning the music. No Taylor Swift, no Drake, no The Weeknd, no Beatles, no catalog of your own. Yet somehow, every second, more than 30,000 songs are streamed on your platform. Spotify has over 600 million users across the globe. It has completely changed how we listen to music, and it helped destroy music piracy. But here's the shocking part. For years, Spotify made billions in revenue while struggling to make consistent profits. Think about that. The company that transformed the music industry wasn't keeping most of the money. Instead, it was paying enormous amounts back to record labels and artists. So why would anyone build a business where the more customers you get, the more you have to pay? Because Spotify isn't really selling music. It's selling access. And behind that simple green app is one of the most fascinating business models in modern technology. A business built on data, algorithms, and one powerful network effect. The story begins in Sweden, at a time when the music industry believed it was dying. In the early 2000s, the music business was in crisis. CD sales were collapsing. People were downloading songs illegally from platforms like Napster, LimeWire, and BitTorrent. Why pay $20 for an album when you could get every song for free? Record labels fought back with lawsuits. Artists complained about piracy. Governments tried shutting websites down. Nothing worked. Every time one platform disappeared, another one appeared. The problem wasn't just piracy. The problem was convenience. Illegal downloads were simply easier than buying music legally. That's when a young Swedish entrepreneur named Daniel Ek saw an opportunity. He believed people weren't refusing to pay because they hated musicians. They were refusing to pay because the legal experience was worse than the illegal one. His solution wasn't to fight piracy. It was to make piracy unnecessary. Imagine having every song you could ever want, available instantly, on your phone, your laptop, without downloading anything. That idea became Spotify. When Spotify launched in 2008, it introduced something revolutionary. Instead of owning music, you could access it. Unlimited streaming, millions of songs, one monthly subscription, or even free listening supported by ads. Consumers loved it immediately. The experience was faster than downloading, safer than piracy, and incredibly simple. The music industry finally had hope. But Spotify had one enormous challenge. Unlike Netflix, which could invest billions creating its own original content, Spotify owned almost nothing that people actually came for. Every song belonged to someone else. Universal Music Group, Sony Music, Warner Music, independent labels, or individual artists. That meant Spotify couldn't simply upload music and keep all the revenue. Every single stream required royalty payments. Every time someone pressed play, money started moving. And that's what made Spotify's business model completely different from almost every other technology company. Most software businesses become more profitable as they grow. Spotify faced a different reality. As listening increased, royalty costs increased too. Success became expensive. But Daniel Ek wasn't trying to build another record label. He was trying to build something much bigger. Not the world's largest music library, but the world's most valuable music platform. And that difference would completely change the future of the company. The genius of Spotify wasn't the streaming technology. Other companies could build a music player. Other companies could create playlists. What they couldn't easily copy was the ecosystem. Every time a new artist uploaded music, Spotify became more valuable to listeners. Every time more listeners joined, Spotify became more valuable to artists. It's the classic network effect. More artists attract more listeners. More listeners attract more artists. That cycle continues to strengthen itself. But Spotify didn't stop there. The company quickly realized something fascinating. Music wasn't its biggest asset. Data was. Every song you skip, every playlist you create, every artist you follow, every late-night listening session, every workout mix, Spotify quietly learns something about you. Not your name, not your address, but your taste. And taste is incredibly valuable. Instead of asking you what music you like, Spotify watches what you actually do. That difference changed everything. Because once Spotify understood your behavior, it could recommend music with remarkable accuracy. Think about Discover Weekly. Every Monday, millions of users receive a playlist that often feels surprisingly personal. Many people assume editors create those playlists manually. In reality, algorithms analyze billions of listening habits. They compare your music preferences with millions of other users around the world. If thousands of people who enjoy artist A also begin listening to artist B, Spotify notices. If you repeatedly skip slow songs during workouts, Spotify notices. If you suddenly start listening to jazz late at night, Spotify notices. The platform isn't just streaming music. It's constantly learning. Those recommendations keep people listening longer. The longer users stay, the more advertisements they hear, the more subscriptions they renew, the more valuable Spotify becomes. Then came podcasts. At first, many people wondered why a music company was spending billions buying podcast studios and signing exclusive creators. The answer was surprisingly simple. Spotify wanted content it actually owned. Unlike music, podcasts often involve fewer royalty payments. Exclusive shows can't easily be copied by competitors. And listeners spend much longer consuming podcast episodes than individual songs. That increases engagement, advertising opportunities, and customer loyalty. The company wasn't abandoning music. It was reducing its dependence on record labels. Every exclusive podcast gave Spotify something competitors couldn't license away. It was slowly transforming from a music platform into an audio platform. That distinction matters. Because the more original content Spotify controls, the stronger its business becomes. Of course, the company still faces enormous challenges. Artists frequently argue that streaming payments are too low. Record labels negotiate billion-dollar licensing agreements. Competitors like Apple Music, Amazon Music, and YouTube Music continue fighting for subscribers. Unlike many technology companies, Spotify can't simply keep lowering its biggest expense. Music licensing remains one of its largest costs. That's why growing revenue isn't enough. Spotify must continually find smarter ways to increase engagement while managing those costs. It's a difficult balancing act, one that few companies have attempted on this scale. Perhaps the biggest lesson from Spotify isn't about music. It's about access. For decades, businesses sold ownership. You bought CDs, DVDs, software, video games. Spotify helped popularize something entirely different: subscription access. Instead of asking customers to own thousands of songs, it asked one simple question: what if you could have everything for one monthly payment? That model has since spread across nearly every industry: television, software, fitness, cloud storage. Even cars are beginning to adopt subscription features. Spotify didn't invent subscriptions, but it proved millions of people were willing to embrace them. So what's the hidden business model behind Spotify's music machine? It isn't selling songs. It isn't selling albums. And it isn't even selling streaming. It's selling convenience, personalization, and daily habits. Every recommendation keeps you listening. Every playlist keeps you engaged. Every podcast keeps you inside the ecosystem a little longer. Because the longer Spotify becomes part of your daily routine, the harder it becomes to leave. And that's the real product. Not music, attention. In today's digital economy, attention is one of the most valuable currencies in the world. And Spotify has built an entire empire around earning just a little more of yours every single day. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more.